Real Madrid, Chelsea side or the Man City, Bayern Munich side, they will find it much more difficult. But the fact that they're on that side of the draw, I seriously, at the start of the season, I wouldn't have had Benfica and Inter into to a Champions League semi-final. No way. But it's a great opportunity for both sides. Benfica, their most famous player, I think, from last season, Darwin Núñez, was sold for Liverpool for big money, and they've sold numerous amount of players over the last couple of years. But they're still bringing out these brilliant players, some from the South American leagues, and buy him cheaply in football terms, and then sell them on for big profits. Inter, they're it's like a sleeping giant over the last 12, 13 years. The last one, the European Cup, Champions League, as is now known, in 2010, I believe, against Bayern Munich. And they haven't really been anywhere near the big time since, really, to be quite honest with you. This is a great opportunity for them. They've got Lukaku up front on loan from Chelsea. He's starting to get a couple of goals now. His form has been in and out. He's been injured as well. But both sides will really fancy their chances against each other. It's a fantastic draw for them, as I said. I would just pip Inter. I think I would just fancy Inter to pip Benfica over the two legs. First leg, of course, is I think Benfica. Second leg, of course, is the San Siro next week. I just have a feeling Inter might just sneak that one, but I don't know how would you would say.
Yeah, now you talk about Benfica and bringing these young players. Of course, Benfica going back over the decades would have a history of that, and obviously Portugal had a colonial past, so they would get players in from, like the famous Eusebio Beck. He was born in Mozambique at the time. They also Benfica. They get players from Brazil, because in Brazil the language is Portuguese, so they have huge contacts over the generations. So that's why they're able to get these players relatively unknown. They bring them through, as you said, get them for cheap in soccer terms. They develop them and then they sell them on, and that's how Benfica survive. That's their business model, as the man says, and it has worked very successful for them. Now they haven't won the Champions League, European Cup in the early 60s. They won 2 in a row. They lost a few finals. In over the years, they've appeared in numerous, what was known as the old UEFA Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup, the Europa League finals as well. But they haven't been back in this stage of the Champions League, European Cup for a number of years. But they have a history and tradition. They will have guys there, maybe in the coaching staff. They might be part of the directors now who will have won these trophies. So they won't be afraid of Inter Milan. They won't fear them. And we all know in sports, psychology is huge importance and belief. So I think they will have a chance. They're very hard to beat at home. Now, away from home with Benfica, I wouldn't, as the man says, I wouldn't put my life on the line for them. But now we look at Inter Milan, as you said, great team, great history as well. Mourinho was the manager the last time they won the Champions League, European Cup, but they have slipped back since then. I think they had some financial difficulties, but they seem to be coming around again. So to me, it's a very hard one to call. The first leg, I think Benfica might win the first leg, maybe 2-1. I think Inter might get an away goal, and that might be crucial. But to me, it's basically maybe a slight advantage for Inter over both legs, but I wouldn't be putting my life on it.
just to clarify though, Paul, as well, the away goals rule is actually gone now, so that doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's breaking news to me. Can you explain that? Because I was full sure it was in.
Yeah, no, the away goals rule has been gone. I think at the start of last season they got rid of the away goals. So if it finishes 1-1 in Benfica, just for example, the tie, and if it's 0-0 in the San Siro, the game does go to extra time.
Right.
That's so the away goals.
No, if you hadn't been there now, I would have automatically assumed that and any reason for that, because the away goals you should add is at a great. So even if you lost the game, let's say away from home 3-1, you weren't down for it, because if you got 2-0 at home, you could qualify. And to me, it was an extra dimension to the game. Have you any idea why they got rid of it?
I don't know why they got rid of it, Paul. For my reaction, I just felt the rule is very good. It had the excitement. It was cruel on the team that went out in away goals. Like, for example, if you drew 0-0 in the first leg, and it was a very even game. Obviously, in the second leg, and it finished 1-1. It happened to Chelsea numerous times, a couple of times ourselves against Barcelona in 2009, I believe, and it was just I always felt that the away goals rule is actually nearly better to play the second leg away from home, because with the away goals, the power of the away goals, if it's a really tight game and the ball games ended in a draw, the away goals, whoever got the most away goals, you have the away goals rule on your side, that if you score, the other team have to score twice.
Right.
Particularly when the goals past 1-1. So I thought it was a bit of jeopardy for the home team, but I would have kept the role in,
Yeah.
no problem, Paul.
That's the way.
They've changed now, so we're just going to have to go with it.
Yeah, I suppose just when if four of us were over FIFA or UEFA, we definitely would have kept the rule, but that won't happen anytime soon anyway. So we move on now to the next game tonight. Big game, Man City versus Bayern. Again, Man City have dominated the English league with their money, and of course, the link here, of course, is Guardiola, the manager. Bayern, of course, we all know the history of Bayern. They've won it, always perennial challengers. There in the Sheikh, been so many finals. Guardiola went to Bayern from Barcelona. He didn't win the Champions League. He's now moved on to Man City, beaten in the final, haven't won it. But we just look at both teams. Man City are second, they're in the shake-up for the English League again. Bayern are in the shake-up for the German League. So, to me, this is a real heavyweight clash with both teams laden with top-class players.
That's for sure, Paul. If you said this a month, when the draw was made maybe a month ago, I would give Bayern a much better chance. But I find City are just coming into the gear now. I find every year it seems to be that Liverpool know they've broken Liverpool's heart. After Easter, just around Easter time, Man City kick on, particularly in the league. And I think the big thing now is they're banging form now. They hammered Southampton 4-1. It could have been more. They hammered Liverpool the week before that 4-1 as well at home. So they're scoring a lot of goals. Not conceding too many either. And their players like Haaland, he's only been out of form a couple of games, and he's back into form again. He hasn't had many injuries. Jack Grealish has turned up now in the last couple of weeks as well. His form is getting better. De Bruyne, they've got some class players, and some class players in every position, really. Backs, forwards, goalkeeper, a world-class striker, one of the best strikers we've ever seen. I mean, I think he scored 42 goals in all competition already this season. But having said that, they have a pattern of play. Some people might say that they haven't actually scored as more goals with Haaland in the team than they did last season. Might be slightly up now in a bit because he has scored a good couple of goals over the last couple of weeks again. Bayern Munich, they've won every game in the Champions League so far this season, and yet they still sacked their manager Nagelsmann there a couple of weeks ago. He's been linked with the Chelsea job. Thomas Tuchel, an ex-Chelsea manager who won the Champions League, of course, in 2021, beaten of all people, Pep Guardiola in the final. So this game has a real edge to it as well. I feel. I just think Man City, if they're going to win it, they're going to have to win it sometime. They're going to have to win it this year, I feel. If they're not going to win the Premier League, and the big thing about Guardiola and the owners going into Manchester City, dominating English football and then dominate Europe. They've got in history with the amount of money they've spent, the billions they've spent, to only have one Champions League final appearance is short change in my opinion. They really, I feel, to have to win the European Cup to consider themselves one of the big clubs. Liverpool have won 6 titles, Chelsea have won 2, Manchester United have won 3 Champions League titles.
Nottingham Forest have won 2, and Aston Villa have won 1.
Villa have won 1. So Man City aren't in that conversation, and that's something that Manchester City fans have.
And let's not forget really, Manchester United, in case people start giving out. They've won 3 in fairness to them.
Oh yeah, I said it. Yeah, they won 3. Yeah, I just feel that Manchester City, if they're going to be considered one of the biggest teams in Europe, they're going to have to eventually win the European Cup, Champions League. And Guardiola hasn't won it since 2011. He has a habit of overthinking games a lot. The Champions League final, for example, the one that Chelsea won in 2021, he didn't play Rodri, a holding midfielder. And if you look at that goal that Chelsea scored in the Champions League final, there's acres of space down the middle where the defensive midfielder should be or would have been. But he went too attacking, I felt. He was all. I think what he tried to do in that final was just kill Chelsea off early in the game. Literally smothers, get an early goal, and then if we attack, they'll counter-attack us and clean us out. But it never went that way. And in fact,
can you call it?
I just have a fancy that City might just do it.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know my full opinion next week when we watch the second leg.
Yeah, again, no, I just make it before we move on. Look, to me, it's a toss-up game. Both teams, but Bayern have a history and tradition. Even though traditionally Bayern have a bad record against English teams, particularly in semi-finals and finals. But this is a quarter-final, so maybe not. They mightn't come into play. But for a great club like Bayern Munich, and they're there decade after decade, their record against English clubs is absolutely appalling. And you can go back to the 1970s and that was that. But so if I have to put a gun to my head, Man City are at home. Since the way it goes rule you told me is gone now, I'll back Man City to win. So now we move on to the third game. Real Madrid versus Chelsea. So again, you have a special interest in this. Real Madrid,
Yes,
sure, what can we say about them? They have so many titles, the most titles. The famous team from Madrid have won it the 5 in a row all the way through. Chelsea have won it. Is it twice Chelsea won it now?
twice. They've won it
Twice now.
twice,
So just what are your thoughts on this
2012
game
and
and your background to this?
2021. Yeah, well, the form, on form, particularly with Chelsea's form this season, you would say Chelsea would have no chance. But funny enough, Paul, I do give us a great chance in this tie. It all depends. It all depends on the first leg. I don't think we're gonna. I think the most lows. Hopefully, it has to be a low scoring game for Chelsea to have any chance. The team just cannot score goals at the moment. But funny enough, in the Champions League, even under Potter, we actually played all right. We hammered. I know we're going to get onto the next quarterfinal in a minute. AC Milan. AC Milan in our group, we beat them 2-0 away and we hammered them 3-0 at Stamford Bridge, and we're by far the better team. But then the wheels fell off then after the Champions League group stage was finished. Real Madrid, I was at the first leg last year for the quarter final in Stamford Bridge. Benzema was class above on the pitch from everyone that day. He scored a hat trick. We made some silly mistakes. So if we look at the third goal, it was a goalkeeping error, and we had chances to get it back to 3-2, and we left us far too much in the second leg in the Bernabeu. Having said that, though, the club was very much in a different place with different owners, with a world class manager. We have Frank Lampard now, and I'm not convinced by him, Paul, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't convinced of him in his first spell, and I'm definitely not convinced in his second spell. I would have brought in a top rated manager for this. If they're going to sack Potter, I wanted Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique or Pochettino or somebody of that ilk. He's up against Carlo Ancelotti, the man who's won the Champions League 4 times, twice with AC Milan, twice for Real Madrid.
And also as a player.
Also as a player. So with AC Milan. So look, on paper, as you said yourself, Paul, nothing is won on paper.
Yeah.
But on paper, I would have to say, given the form, Real Madrid's form in the league has been great, but they always turn up in Europe, Paul. They've had many seasons where they've been poor in the league. They'll turn up in the Champions League. This is their competition, really.
Yeah.
This is the one that they always go for.
Yeah.
Going to my head, I would say Real Madrid to win the first leg, 2-1, 2-0 possibly, because Chelsea just can't score goals.
Yeah.
A second leg, then I think Chelsea might nick one, but I don't think they have enough over the 2 legs. I would go maybe over the 2 legs, 3-2 maybe to Real Madrid.
Now, if it was the away goals rule, I would have given Chelsea a chance because they would be able to defend. You say they don't score many goals. That's great, very important. But often to win these championships in the knockout stages, defending. But since the away goal rule doesn't come into play, look, you'll have to give it to Real Madrid. But well, of course, Chelsea have won it twice, so they're not a complete outsiders. They have the history and tradition too, not of Real Madrid. But there'll be always a result will go against the flow or go against the hate will say. But again, I have to be honest. If the gun is to my head, I have to say Real Madrid will win it. But you just don't know. But I will have to go for Real Madrid to win that game. Now, the final game, then the final quarter-final, we have AC Milan versus Napoli, an all-Italian derby. And there's 3 Italian teams, and we should have mentioned at the start there. But AC Milan versus Napoli, it reminds me of back in the 1980s where you had Hullet, Van Basten, and Rijkaard, and then you had Maradona, and you had Careca down in Napoli. There were the 2 teams, there were the 2 famous teams, the 2 high proud teams going for the Scudetto or the Serie A and going for Europe as well now. But now they don't have them high profile players. But to me, this is a 50-50 game, and I really can't pick the winner. What do you think?
I would fancy Napoli, Paul, to be quite honest with you. They're absolutely flying in the league. I think they're over between 14 and 16 points ahead of second place Lazio in the Serie A. They have been absolutely brilliant in Serie A this year. I didn't see it coming, to be quite honest with you. They are the surprise package. Napoli and Arsenal this season, initially and in England, are just playing unbelievable football. No fear. I've seen some of the football they played. They've been absolutely terrific. AC Milan this year have been very, very poor by their high standards they set last year. They won the Serie A last year. They're down in 4th. They were in a battle actually for Inter Milan and Roma, I think, for 3rd and 4th place for the Champions League. They were under real pressure. They were actually lucky, I think, that Juventus, I think, got a 15-point deduction because of some irregularities we're not going to go into now. But they haven't been convincing. They won against Tottenham 1-0 in San Siro and played out a boring 0-0 draw in the second leg.
Surely not
Let's be
knowing
honest
an
with
Italian team playing a 0-0 boring draw. Surely not. Surely not.
you, already, never seen it before. No, they're not convincing, but being that this quarterfinal plays the winner of the Benfica Inter quarterfinal in the semi-final.
Yeah.
This is probably their best. This is Napoli's best chance, I think, of getting to the European Cup final, considering the draw.